Hey guys, Tom601, and today we're taking a look at Kirisami, the all-new Tier 7 Japanese premium destroyer, one that I think is the most interesting ship from this update, and one that is going to be one of the rarest boats out there because of its method of acquisition. If you haven't been with one of our reviews yet, let me just go over the format. We're going to go over the commander, the modules, the consumables, then walk through all of the stats. And that's going to be a little bit different today because of the Kirisami, because, well, she is a very distinct ship. She's a transformer. She has three distinct hulls with three distinct sets of stats. The plan today is we're going to go over the stock hull, touch on the other two hulls, and then eventually do breakout videos on those other two hulls. I just think the stock format of her is the most interesting of the hulls, and the one that she'll end up sitting in my fleet. That's how she's going to sit in this stock hull format. But the other two are interesting. But before we dive on into all of that, I do want to talk about how you acquire Kirisame, because we'll have a rant about this during when we're showing off the game. But Kirisame is a crate only ship, which is a bit gross.
I found this on the web.
Kirisame is a crate only ship, which is a bit gross. If you buy Secret Santa containers, you have a 0.013% chance of being able to pull her from a crate. And if you buy a Mega Santa crate, you have a 0.1% chance of being able to pull her. So she is going to be a rare boat out there. And I don't really know why they're doing this other than to try to make some money. I really don't. But with all of that said, we'll begin to go over her now. So, the good old Kirisami. Who are we having helm her? Well, if you were lucky enough to pull her, or if you bought enough crates to pull her, I'm going to assume you have a lot of the premium commanders. And that's why we are running Gunzo Chiha, my go-to torpedo boat commander, because of his skills. We're running Bay and Swirsky for that double concealment, because if you look at our concealment, we're below 5 kilometers. That's right. Then we have Gunzo's unique trait, which is going to boost torpedo survivability, boost the repair time, and lower the reload time on torpedo launchers. Then we have Subsurface Venture. Look at me now. His unique skill, Torpedo Bundle, which is going to boost the reload time on torpedoes at the cost of 10% damage, which if you can just throw torps out there, that is a good trade-off. Then we are running Destroy or Be Destroyed, and finally Unstoppable, and that's our full set of skills on the commander. Next up, modules. Well, this is where we're probably going to also touch on the other hulls, but in the first slot, we are running Aiming System Mod 1, then we are running Steering Gears, then Concealment, and finally, Main Battery Mod 3, just to get that reload down, because the DPM of this vessel is pretty impressive. So this is the base version, or you have this final mod slot. This final mod slot is what's going to allow you to switch out the hulls. You have two options. One, you have the torpedo hull. The torpedo hull, what it does is it takes what are American guns on the stock hull and changes them out with Akazuki turrets. You get a massive decrease in your alpha strike, and then you get deep water, fast reloading deep water torpedoes that have incredible range. That is the torpedo hull. Or you can go to the artillery hull, which you'll get fast reloading 127s, essentially turning the Kirisame into a tier 7 Hayate, is the best way to think of the artillery hull on this vessel. Those are kind of your two options, or you can run stock, and I think you'll see why I like running the stock hull the most. So those are those two, and those are the modules. Next, let's talk consumables. So Kirisame based on a Kagero hull, and as such, it does have the same consumables. So you have the damage control party, which is going to repair in 5 seconds, reload in 40 seconds. Then you have the smoke generator, 20-second duration, 89-second uptime, 240-second reload time, 2 charges. Or you have the option to switch that out with a singular torpedo reload booster. And then also you have the engine boost, 8% boost to your max speed, lasts 120 seconds, reload time in 180 seconds, and it's going to have 2 charges. And those are all of the consumables. And with that, let's go ahead and just dive on in to Kirisame. So Kirisame, 13,300 hit points, the lowest of any of the tier 7 DDs that I can think of. It is, you do not have much health. To put that in perspective, Kagero has 15,000. So you're even trailing behind that. Armor thickness on the vessel, between 6 and 25 millimeters. Let's go ahead and take a look at that armor scheme. And well, if you notice, the thickest armor is in fact on the guns. That's right. Everything else coated in 19 millimeters of armor. Nothing too special or to write home about there. After that, let's talk about torpedo reduction. You're looking at a whopping 0%. Next is the thing that kind of defines the good old Kirisame. That is its main battery. 3 one-barreled 127 millimeter American guns. They are the same secondaries that that come on Midway. So it's like the Japanese sunk Midway, took some guns off of her, or scuttled, recovered the guns, and secretly put them on here. That's kind of what Kirisame is. It has Midway secondary guns as its primary weapons. Firing range of 10.6 kilometers with a reload time of 2.2 seconds. They are fast firing guns. 81 shells per minute with a 180 time of 5.7 seconds. An HE damage of 1,800, giving it a DPM of 145,800 and a 9% chance to set fire. To give you an idea, you're coming close to like Östergötland levels of performance there as far as DPM on those guns, which Östergötland, not exactly a boat to be trifled with, right? You give up the smoke on Östergötland to get decent torps or to get great torps and to get that sort of DPM out of those guns. Here, you're not giving up smoke, you're giving up the HP. AP damage, you're looking at 2,350 for a DPM of 190,350. Torpedoes, the other great thing about this boat, 2 4-barreled 610 millimeter torpedo launchers with a reload time of 75.2 seconds and a damage of 15,090. If you were to go with the deep water torps, you're looking at like a 67 second reload on those torps. Detectability on the regular torps, 1.3 kilometers and with a speed of 66 knots and a range of 10 kilometers. AA, it's a Japanese destroyer. It's not great. Minimum range is going to be 5.2 kilometers with a min damage of 22 and a max damage of 38. Maneuverability, max speed of the vessel, 36.9 knots with a turning radius of 640 meters and a rudder shift time of 3.2 seconds. Finally, concealment of the vessel, 4.9 by sea, 2.8 by air, and 2.5 when firing in smoke. A very deadly overall concealment package. So that's Kirisame, and with all that said, let's go ahead and dive on in to a game with her. So welcome to Shards in Kirisame, and we have a pretty fun game for you because, well, we're going to be the only ship on our team that gets any kills in this match. So it's going to be a little bit exciting. We spawned over at A, which means we're going to do the one thing. We're going to charge headlong into A because, well, we have the concealment to be able to get into A, position ourselves, and we should be able to essentially outspot whatever is in A, and that's exactly what we want to do until we see that there's an Olchakov kind of charging us down. Now, the issue with Olchakov is, well, it has a radar, which is very deadly to us. As you see, we kind of throw the torps into where we think he may go, and we're going to turn out and try to make our way into that little shoal over on the left-hand side behind that island. Because, well, if that Olchakov looks that the cap is ticking towards health, he should fairly well know that there's a destroyer in here, and he should know to radar us. And it's exactly what he does. And he's being backed up by a dear friend, the Edinburgh. So we're going to try to get behind into cover right here, because one thing that Kirisami does not have, it is extra hit points to spare, but we do have torpedoes to spare, and we're going to land all 4 of them on that Edinburgh. Thankfully, I guess he was not running his sonar. We are still being spotted. My guess is by the ship over in B, but the most important thing is that Ochakov, his radar should be out, and now we can kind of start to see what else we have in store for us. We do have a Bismarck, so we're going to try to make this run again. We know Ochakov probably won't try to push in, because if we look at the map right now, our team starting to kind of overload our side, right? So we're going to kind of push over. Torpedoes coming in either from Ochakov or Edinburgh over there. And we're going to start kind of cruising off onto this right-hand side, try to get prepped. Thankfully, we do have some pretty fast reloading torpedoes. And my hope is we kind of get at the correct angle where we can throw these torps, the next salvo of torps, into where Ochakov is, get them behind that little hook that is protecting him, that's providing him a torpedo protection. But as we come in, Bismarck starts to push in. We know he's not going to like that, but we do know we can also maintain spot on Bismarck thanks to our team, because they're all over the place. So we're going to start just hammering at Bismarck, because guess what, guys? Kirisami's guns, pretty respectable. They are fairly respectable, especially with their 2-second reload time. They are fantastic at getting that DPM out there. And if you can find a place where you have cover, firing arcs, because they're American, are fantastic firing arcs. They can do some pretty substantial damage, or you do have your 2 smokes that you can get a pretty good amount. And we can see we kind of have that angle on that little shoal that we wanted, but we're still going to need him to kind of play a little dirty and kind of pull forward if we want it. Other thing we're just keeping an eye on is when we can cap this area. Right now, I'm not liking sticking over in this corner, just because if we can see the other destroyer from our team has kind of come over to here. So right now, my desire is cap this area, get our points for capping, and then bugger on off, right? We now have another destroyer over here. It is redundant for us to be in the area. We don't need 2 destroyers in the same grid square. What else are we spotting? And we can see he's just kind of sitting in his smoke, picking his nose. I mean, we're sitting in our smoke too, but I have a feeling we popped our smoke before he did. Anyways, Kirisami, what do I think about this vessel? Honestly, I think she should have come out during the Transformers update. This ship, because it has all these permutations, it is a Transformer. And the last Transformers collaboration that we had, it was incredibly disappointing, if you ask me, right? It was just, remember the skins that we adapted for from the old World of Warships down to tier 7 ships so that we could sell them to you? Well, now we got the ones that we sold on PC originally. Go buy them, please. No new commanders. No. Just new skins. Enjoy. And like it was a very disappointing wave of Transformers stuff. And I think this ship would have been perfect to sell during that time. And I think overall it's a very fairly balanced ship, because it is definitely a difficult one to play. Your hit points are so precious to you in this thing, and it's why I don't think you'll ever see one running the artillery, like running it as a gunboat. I think it just doesn't have the hit points. It doesn't have the tonnage in a destroyer to be able to stick around to get what it needs, to be able to hit those fights and sustain those fights. It will just get melted away. So you really have to kind of pick your fights in Kirisame and use the stealth, which is why I think you're going to see this thing, if you ever see this thing, because once again, the only way to obtain it is crate drops, which is so stupid. That's just straight up gambling and so dumb. Is in those crates. So you're not going to see many of them, but when you do see them, I think you're either going to see them in this kind of configuration, or you're going to see them as the deep water torp builds. Anyways, we kind of established that we needed to take out their destroyers, so We popped the Z-23 here just because he has a good shot on the rest of our team. We fired some torps out at North Carolina, and right now, I'm like, okay, our team is kind of in island cover. Maybe as our team kind of draws them in, we can try to do something. We got 3 battleships near us, and we got fast reloading torps. Let's see what we can do to these battleships, but also we have C being lost to us, which tells us that's where the other destroyer is. So we're going to try to push, kill that other destroyer, and then kind of go from there. But as we can see, this battle already kind of lopsided, right? We're probably not going to be winning this one unless our 2 battleships can get into will to rebuild range and have a very good Alamo. Anyways, we can now see us using the incredible stealth of Kirisami to just skirt along the detection radius of the Sinop. He probably doesn't realize where we are. We boop him on the nose with 1 torpedo there. Turn out a little bit more. We are being located, which generally means that that other destroyer is going to try to come and hunt us down. Our other set of torps on Sinop are looking pretty good right here. And we are now also hitting what I assume is his artillery spotting plane, but those torpedoes look good. 1, 2, 3, 4. He already used his damage con very recently. Even if with his quick reloading damage con, I don't think we will be seeing him again. So we're just going to kind of skirt on the edge here, make sure we don't get spotted, and head kind of towards that CB area, try to take out their destroyer to give our team a chance, though at this point we are all but lost. Also, we'll go ahead and throw a set of pity torps out towards Sinop there and start to prepare to see what we can do. Also, kind of maybe head to C, see if we can cut off this destroyer at C. But a Sashio pops up right there. Excellent. That's exactly what we want. We're going to turn out, get those guns ready to go. Be prepared, because if I were him, I would probably try to use the torps. Make sure we can get these down before he fires the torps. He lets go of the torps hard in, full break. We've already kind of cut off the angle, so we are safe from his torpedoes. And that is 1 more Sinop going to take his shot now that he knows where we are. He's going to turn to try to get his front guns on us. Maybe a little. Well, no matter what, our next set of torpedoes, well, they're going to handle him very nicely. And now is our sense of indecision. Because the enemy team is double up on points, and none of them are really heading towards us. So we don't have the range to really hit any of them. We're just at max range for that North Carolina. And I'm like, okay, what can we do tactically? We are losing A. Not great. We're not going to keep A from the looks of it. Do we pause for a full minute? Is that the play, or do we try to push out here and intercept these guys? And at this point, I'm like, okay, let's try to intercept these guys. We're not going to be able to win this on points. We might as well go out guns ablazing. We're 1 kill away from the Kraken. Let's go and do this, baby. So we're gonna go and kind of push out and see if we can interest anyone in chasing us down. Bismarck looks like he's a potential torp target, and hello, torpedoes from what I assume is the Odin. Some lucky guess torpedoes. They run out just near us, and now we kind of need to be cautious because we can't really alert everyone to where we are. But Ochakov has some business to finish. We spawned on his side. He's like, we're hunting down this dang destroyer. My other thoughts on Kirisami while all of this is shaken out. I think she's a fun ship. I don't think she's going to be the best tier 7 destroyer there is, right? If you want a better torpedo boat, you can absolutely go get Yukikaze. If you want a better gunboat, there are definitely better gunboats. She's a very interesting hybrid destroyer. And one that we don't really get to see from Japanese. So she is definitely fun to play. And I do wish, once again, there's another way to get her. I'm hoping she'll come available for GXP. Anyways, Ochakov here. We're starting to see broadside from him. We have American AP. So, well, that's right. We can go ahead and just start citadeling this Ochakov right here as he starts to sail broadside. And try to get a couple of hits on him. Dump this set of torps because we're not going to be able to stand up to him in a fight. We do get another torpedo hit right there, but at this point, the match is lost, and unfortunately, we don't get any more contact with any other enemy ships. It's just too far away, and we're going to end up losing the match. But guys, that's Kirisame. Like I said, fun ship, unique ship. Hopefully, she comes for GXP. I think she'd be fine for GXP, or if they decide to have another Transformers content wave, she's the perfect ship for it. Anyways, guys, if you liked the video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. See ya.